Imagine finding your friend's clothes perfectly folded 60 feet up in a tree, bone dry, despite 3 days of heavy rain. But your friend, he's gone. No footprints, no struggle, just silence. Welcome back to the station. The file I've pulled today isn't like the others. This one is marked with a black seal. Why? Because every investigator who touched these pages felt a chill down their spine that never quite left. We're used to people getting lost. They either find their way back, or we find what's left of them. But what do you do when you find a person's clothes perfectly folded in an impossible location? Yet the person has vanished into thin air. Today, we dive into the case of Keith Reinhard, a mystery that defied logic and forced us to ask, is the forest just trees and stones? Or is it a living entity waiting for us to stumble? Let's open the file. The final journey. The year was 1988. Keith was a man who loved the wilderness. He wasn't a novice. He was fit, intelligent, and knew his way around the rugged terrain of the Colorado mountains. He walked into the woods with a smile, never knowing it was the last time he'd see the sun. When he didn't return, the search began. Hundreds of volunteers, helicopters, and the best tracking dogs in the country. But the dogs behaved strangely. They would track his scent to a specific granite rock, and then they would stop. They would look up at the sky and begin to howl in a way that terrified the handlers, as if they saw something we, as humans, couldn't perceive. There were no footprints in the mud, no signs of a struggle. It was as if he had simply evaporated. The impossible evidence. Days into the search, a ranger shouted while pointing toward a massive, ancient cedar tree. When they approached, they saw something that froze their blood. High up on a branch, at a height of nearly 60 feet, Keith's clothes were found. But that's not the shocking part. The clothes were perfectly folded, neatly, as if they had just come off a store shelf. The shirt, the pants, even the socks, all placed high up in a spot that no human could reach without professional climbing gear. And here's the detail that haunts me. Despite the heavy rainfall of the past 3 days, the clothes were bone dry. How did they get there? Why were they folded? And where was Keith? Invisible predator theory. Investigators were baffled. Was there someone out there mocking them? But there were no claw marks or boot prints on the trunk of the tree. In our station, darker theories began to emerge. Some spoke of the Glimmer Man, invisible predators that live within the canopy, possessing the ability to snatch a victim into the sky and leave their belongings behind as a taunt. Even the FBI reached a dead end. In our logs, this pattern repeats. People vanish with their gear, only for their clothes to reappear years later on mountain peaks or treetops, looking brand new. The forest wasn't trying to hide a crime. It was trying to show us its power. It was telling us that we are not the top of the food chain here. Keith's case remains an open wound in the missing 411 files. My advice to you, when you visit the great outdoors, never underestimate the shadows. If you feel a sudden cold breeze in a warm spot, or see the trees moving in a way that doesn't match the wind, don't take a photo, don't laugh, just run. I'm the forest ranger, and this was a file that has kept me awake for many nights. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next file is even more dangerous. Stay close to the light and never stray from the path.